Good morning. It is Monday, October 9th, 2023, and it's about 12:45 p.m. It is dark a dark October day, and it's somewhat wet outside. It was raining all weekend, Saturday and Sunday. I decided I was going to do a vlog of this week. I haven't washed my face. I haven't put my makeup on. As you can see, my hair is a mess, but this is, me when I wake up in the morning. So, um, yeah, I've been taking it really easy. I've been doing some journaling. I've been reading this book, Lilith, Dark Feminine Archetype. And I've been journaling in my journal. This is a really big journal I got for $4.50 at the dollar store. I'm almost 1/3 done the journal, writing in the journal. I call the journal my book of shadows because in my journal, that's where I do my shadow work, meaning that's where I write down how I'm feeling, what I'm going through, what my life is like, what I'm expecting to happen. Sometimes I'll draw some tarot cards and write down some questions and write down the answers from the tarot cards that I got. It's interesting that this is the Hangman on the bottom of the deck. I was just shuffling it because I was going to draw some cards, and then I decided that I was going to do a vlog this week. I was inspired by Jasmine Ambrosia because I just watched one of her vlogs, and it was really interesting to just see like what she does during the week. So I got the Hangman on the bottom here, and it's interesting because the Hangman is my card for this year, 2023. And I just feel like, the Hangman can be really uncomfortable, like, because you're in this position that isn't your normal position. And I mean, it's very like representative of my life right now. Like right now we're in my my partner's condo, and it's sold, and I still have all my stuff at the apartment in St. Anne, and like I have a few of my things here too, like my clothes, my jewelry, stuff like that, some of my cards, but we're looking for a new place to live, and we haven't found a new place yet. And so it's kind of like this transition period where it's uncomfortable. But the good thing about the Hangman is we compare it to Odin. I think it was Odin who hung on the world tree. I can't remember how long he hung there, but it was a long time. And he got the runes. He got the idea for the runes, which is a divination tool, a Norse divination tool, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm expecting that by the end of 2023, I will have received some divine insight through this discomfort that I've been going through in the year of 2023. So yeah, so it's almost 1 p.m. I'm going to wash my face, do my makeup. I've already gone to my altar. My candle burnt out, as you might have seen in my week ahead reading. It just burnt out. It's finished. So I don't have a candle to put on the altar right now. My partner was downsizing with all of the items that are in the condo. So he got rid of all my tea lights because he thought that we weren't using them. So I don't have any tea light candles to light for the altar. I just bought a huge pack of like 30, and he gave them all away because he didn't know that I was using them. I usually do my magic when my partner is not at the house, just so it doesn't, so I have my own privacy. But yeah, so we're going to work later on. It's Monday. I work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then I'm off Friday. So Friday should be a fun day. And then I work Saturday and Sunday. So I only have one day off this week to myself. So I have Friday off this week, and the next day I have off would be Tuesday. And there's a few things that I want to do on Friday. I want to redecorate my altar for Samhain. I want to do the week ahead reading for next week. I want to do a ritual for Nama. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Anyway, so I'll get back to you later when I get my makeup done and my hair done. And yeah, going to work today at 4 o'clock with my partner. Hey. Going for a walk. It's 1:30 p.m. on Monday. I forgot to say that it's Thanksgiving today. Thanksgiving Monday here in Quebec. I'm just going for a walk. It's 1:30. We usually leave for work around 2:30, 2:45 because my partner starts work at 3:30. So I'm just going for a walk. I have my mugwort tea. I was really tempted to bring a cigarette, but I'm trying to, like, I've never really been a big smoker, but it's like very tempting to want to get a cigarette when you go for a walk. I usually smoke, I mean, I've smoked a few cigarettes a day in the past, but lately I've been smoking half a cigarette a day. But I don't want to get into the habit. Working at a hospital like I do, I see a lot of people who suffer from COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, or some sort of even cancer sometimes from smoking. And, you know, I should know better because I work in a healthcare environment. I should know better than to, you know, test my health with cigarettes. I prefer to smoke cannabis because it's natural, it's plant medicine, but I'm not going to smoke it now because I'm going to work in a couple hours. And I try to be a little bit more responsible with my quote unquote witch flights, because I really did just start smoking cannabis again. I hadn't smoked it in like, I want to say like 10, 20 years, 10, 15, 20 years I hadn't smoked cannabis. I'd taken cannabis oil, but I hadn't actually smoked like a cigarette with cannabis. Excuse me. So the reason why I ended up purchasing some cigarettes, cannabis cigarettes, is because I wanted to go on some witch flights, and the cannabis works for that. So all that to say that I'm not going to smoke cannabis before work because I don't think it's the appropriate time to go on a witch flight, because sometimes you don't know how long the witch flight will last as well, and I don't want to go to work high. I'm not that type of person. I prefer to be in my right mind, to be honest. So yeah, so going for a walk. It's drizzling, but it's a great October day. We'll probably see some Halloween decorations. I'm thinking I want to walk to the graveyard and draw a card with the breath of the cemetery. And I'm looking at a squirrel. He's so cute. Hi, cutie. Hope you have a good day. Can you see him? Well, he was up there. Anyways, I won't ramble. I'm going to listen to some music while I walk to the graveyard, and then I'll do a little bit of videotaping in the graveyard. I have an hour, so it should be good. Them bones, them bones, them dry bones, them bones, them bones, them dry bones. Them bones, them bones, them dry bones. It's a jack-o'-lantern ghost. Here we are at the cemetery. I'm at my tree here in the cemetery. I usually sit here and connect with the cemetery. It's very quiet. So I'm at the hospital. I'm going to put my stuff down, get a coffee, and get ready for work. Okay, so I'm at work waiting to start. I think it's the astrology because I'm starting to feel a little bit heavy. And when I read my astrology for today, it did say that there would be some difficult transitions in the sky come in the afternoon. So I'm starting work at 4 o'clock, so it's the afternoon. But I just called out to my gods and goddesses to help me strengthen myself and do the job that I came here to do. I don't know if it ever happens to you where you're at work and you just want to like leave, like you just don't want to be there. You just feel like you could just go MIA. That's how I kind of feel. Hey, so still at work. It is 6:42 p.m. I go back to the floor at 7 p.m. I'm sitting here with my partner. Dude, quick view. He doesn't like to be on camera. So yeah, feeling a little better since I started and got into the groove. It's Thanksgiving Monday, so it's on the quieter side in the hospital. We're just sitting in the quote-unquote airport right now, just passing the rest of our break together. I have a coffee we've been sipping on. We're gonna be finishing at midnight, and tonight I want to just honor Nama with a little ritual. So I'll be doing that on the stovetop when we go back to the condo. And yeah, that's it for now. Hey, so I'm on my second break. I have a couple things to eat. One is a sandwich and the other is a yogurt with nuts and fruits. It is 9 p.m. I'm just it's been a pretty quiet night. Thanksgiving Monday, it's really quiet at the hospital, and I was just like reading up a little bit about the cliff off because, as you may or may not know, I started my journey into the cliff off, and this journey might take me a good. I'm thinking like 2-3 years to kind of get through the whole thing. Initially, I was like, I'm gonna try to get through it as quickly as I can. But what I'm realizing is that since I entered into the realm of Nehemoth, I am there now. Like as we speak, I am there. And I have to be patient because the lessons, yeah, there was a really big lesson when I did my ritual to enter. And like I'm still kind of processing that lesson. But like I'm also thinking about like how am I going to make my way through the cliff off, because I have a book called Tree of Qliphoth by Asenath Mason, but there's also like books that are like $200 each, and there's a trilogy, and those are the books you're supposed to buy if you want to get through the Qliphoth. Hi Mo.
Hello.
So, but they're like $200 each on Etsy. The thing with books is that I did this with astrology. I bought like 5 books on astrology, one for the houses, one for the planets, one for the signs, and like just all this information, and it was just overwhelming. So me, I've been practicing magic for like 4 years, but I was practicing magic prior to that. Like I would say I was practicing magic since my 30s, and now I'm in my 40s. And even though I've only been a witch, like officially, for 4 years, I think I'm knowledgeable enough to work my way through the Qliphoth with that simple. I got another book coming in about Lilith in the Qliphoth, and I've also looked up stuff on the internet, and I think everybody's experience is different going through the Qliphoth, but this might take me a while. And now that I'm in Nehemoth, ruled by Nama, this Nehemoth is also called Lilith, and it's ruled by Nama. I realize that I have to be patient to wait for the lessons to come, whether they be through dreams, feelings, emotions, insights, and then I gotta work my way through the tunnels, and each tunnel, like each Qliphoth, like the first Qliphoth of Nehemoth has 3 tunnels that break off from it, and each tunnel is ruled by a different demon, and each tunnel goes to a different Qliphoth. So how do you get from Nehemoth to Gamaliel? You go through the tunnel, but then there's also 2 other Qliphoths that connect to Nehemoth. So do you go from Nehemoth to Gamaliel 10 to 9, or do you go from Nehemoth to the other 2 that are on either sides of Gamaliel? And you know what I mean? Like if I bought the 3 books, I'd probably understand better, but I think that if I'm patient, I can work my way through it and figure it out with the bare bones that I have. Hey, it's Tuesday. Tuesday, October 10th, 2023. I am just at my altar in my apartment room. I came home here after work last night so that I could do a ritual to honor Nama in privacy. I had decided that I was going to do it on the stovetop, but I decided that I needed to have a little bit more privacy and to really focus on her and not be distracted by anybody. I always do magic alone. I am never in the company of anyone else when I do my magic. So it just felt appropriate to come back here, even though I didn't want to part from my partner. But yeah, it's 10:38 a.m. I'm just I just put some coffee on the altar, some fresh coffee, and I have my coffee here in my Aquarius mug. Today is work at 4 o'clock. I'm not sure what we'll do before that, but I'm gonna get ready to go back to my partner's in a little bit. Hey, so it's about 1:15 p.m. My partner and I are going for a walk. I haven't been jogging or going to the gym lately, so walks really help because they help me to ground in my body. I was watching Jasmine the Sage and watching her do a workout and talk about working out, and I was like, oh gosh, I'd love to go to the gym, but I don't know, I just don't have the motivation, and partly because we're moving and I'm kind of like in between phase, but looking forward to settling in. But I'm glad it's October. The leaves are changing color. It's starting to get cold. I think it's like 10 degrees outside right now, Celsius. It's starting to feel a little bit heavy, but I don't want the heaviness to weigh me down. And I know what the heaviness is. It's the spirits, the ancestors. And I want to tap into that energy and not just let it bog me down, but really connect with it. So already I feel so much better being out in the fresh air. Hey there, it's Wednesday. It's 3:45 p.m. I got up really late today. I got up at noon, and I had so many dreams last night that it was a little bit strange when I woke up because I felt like I was still in like a dream state. It took me a while to wake up, but I haven't really done much today. Took a full shower, blow dried my hair, got our suppers ready. That's pretty much it. And then I drove to work and I have a coffee before I start work. Yeah, I mean, my life is pretty consistent. You know, I work 5 days a week here, and on my days off, hopefully on my day off this Friday, I will redecorate my altar for Samhain. It's going to be Friday the 13th. I want to do my week ahead reading, but I would also like to do a ritual to honor Lilith, because I think it was Monday night I did a ritual to honor Nama, and if I haven't told you, I will insert a clip of what that looks like. Yeah, I feel much better today. Monday was tough. I didn't really want to work, but as the days go on in the week, you start to feel like you're getting to the end of it. So I work tomorrow, which is Thursday, and then I'm off on Friday, and then I'm back Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So, you know, just doing life the way a regular person does life. Just at work on the floor, sitting down. It's 11:07 p.m. Yeah, so I was saying it's pretty quiet right now. It's 11:15 p.m. We finish at midnight. Everyone's pretty much clean, turned, medicated. Yeah, so tomorrow's Thursday, my last day before my day off on Friday. Yes. So I'm just sitting outside of the ICU. The vent is pretty loud, but I just wanted to say, oftentimes I used to struggle with working in ICU. Working in the hospital in general. I've been working in the hospital for close to 12 years now. I worked in a few long-term care residents for the elderly before that, and I've spoken about this before, but it was a lot to see the suffering in the intensive care unit. So I thought about quitting, and I started working at a secondhand store for a week, and I just needed a break from work in general, so I took a break. But I don't want to go into details, but like, I do believe that Santa Muerte gave me my job back. And Santa Muerte is the goddess of death, most notably the goddess of death. And sometimes her coming to the patients in the ICU is a blessing because they get to be put out of their suffering. But honestly, like, sometimes when I see other practitioners doing jobs in like metaphysical stores or their own businesses, like selling candles or doing tarot readings, I think to myself, like, what am I doing? You know, I'm working at a hospital 5 days a week. Like, I don't get to use any witchy powers. But that's not necessarily true. And knowing that Santa Muerte gave me my job back makes me feel like this is where I need to be. Hey, it's me again. I just wanted to say, even though, you know, I am working at the hospital and I feel like this is where I need to be at this time in my life, I would, when I get settled into a new home with my partner, offer readings on Etsy again. And, you know, I've tried my hand at candle making, it didn't work, but I'd like to do that again. I'd like to do more YouTube videos. I'd like to cook more for my partner and do some kitchen magic. I'd like to do more spells. But right now, since it's a time of kind of upheaval, it's hard to really focus on doing all these other things. So I'm just grateful that I have a job, you know, and it's a good job, and I work with a good team. So even though sometimes I would like to do something that I feel is more magical, I mean, this is magical in its own right. Hey, it's Thursday. I'm at work. I got my coffee. Going downstairs until I start at 4 o'clock, and that's it. Hey, it's Friday, Venus Day, and we are going to do our groceries and a few shopping errands. I'm off today, so I'm super looking forward to just being able to do my own thing today. Work hard, play hard, right? So we did our groceries, and I picked up a couple of packages that I purchased from Amazon. And now we're gonna go get some coffee and some pizza at a local coffee shop that we like to go to. So the lineup at the coffee shop was right to the door, so we decided to not get coffee and pizza today. Today's card is the Hanged Man, and it's really about realizing that if you feel uncomfortable, reorganize your thoughts and think to yourself, well, maybe I'm just looking at life from a different perspective, and maybe that's why I feel uncomfortable, because I'm learning something new. I'm learning how to look at life from a different perspective. So we're gonna go home, clean our groceries, put them away. I'll make the supper for us for later on, and then I have a scheduled chit chat with one of my friends, and then I think I want to go for a run. We'll see. I didn't go to my altar today, so that's what I'm doing now. I was just in the middle of cleaning the groceries and putting them away, but my partner went for a walk. So I'm just going to take this time to come to my altar and thank my gods and goddesses and talk to them. As you see, I don't have a candle, and I forgot to buy one at the dollar store. So I'm making do with what I have. Blessed be the gods. Hey, so I just had a really good conversation with one of my friends, and it is, I don't know, it's like cloudy out. We've had a little bit of sunshine. Going for a run now. I have my fanny pack with my music. I haven't been for a run in maybe 2 or 3 weeks. I don't know, maybe I'm exaggerating. Could have been a week, but it feels like it's been a long time. So I got my Fitbit, gonna jog to the lake, then to the cemetery, and then hopefully jog all the way back here, which usually takes about half an hour to 35 minutes. Hey, so my run is done. I ran for 34 minutes, which is pretty good because sometimes it takes me close to 40. So I guess I was running at a good speed. I did a little jog through the cemetery, as you just saw. I could swear there was a dog in the cemetery. Like, it's interesting because Hecate is the goddess of liminal spaces, and I feel like the cemetery is a liminal space, and Hecate is always accompanied with dogs. And it's interesting how I usually always ask Hecate before I go into that cemetery if I can come in with Hecate. And it's interesting that I saw a dog today because it's Hecate's cemetery, in my opinion. So it's interesting that there was a dog there today, and maybe you didn't see it on the camera, but I saw it with my third eye. A small dog, nothing menacing or terrifying, not like a guard dog or anything, just a companion dog. So yeah, I'm like, my apartment is a good 20 minutes away on the highway, and it's almost 5 p.m. I kind of wanted to go decorate my altar for Samhain, but I still have Tuesday off, and so I could do it on Tuesday. I think I'm going to stay local. I really want to go to the secondhand store, so I think I want to buy myself a pumpkin spice latte and treat myself. Pumpkin spice latte with oat milk. It's so good. It's so creamy. No whipped cream, because I'm not a big fan of milk. But I do eat a lot of yogurt. Anyways, so I'm here now, and I'll keep you updated. So I'm at the secondhand store, and I found a few cute things that I want to put into a video haul. I just want to show you these boots. Look at these beauties. They wouldn't fit me, and I have a pair similar to them, but those are classic witch boots. Very cool. Someone just slapped this here. Hey, so I'm down at the secondhand store. I'm just at my car. I'll do a haul video of what I purchased today. I don't have a lot of stuff. I didn't purchase that much, but I purchased a few really special things. So I'm in the car now. I'm gonna head over to Starbucks and I'm gonna do a pumpkin spice latte with oat milk. And I'm gonna go home and do maybe a little bit of self-care. I wanted to record the week ahead reading, so I might do that. This is really my last chance to record the week ahead reading because tomorrow is Saturday and I work on Sunday as well, and then the new week starts on Monday. So if I'm going to be doing the reading for Monday, I really should get it done today. Yeah, so I'll probably try to do that. And also today is Friday the 13th. It's going to be a new moon, a dark moon. It's probably a dark moon tonight because I think the new moon in Libra is tomorrow, Saturday the 14th. So I think honoring Lilith on this dark moon tonight is a good idea. And the reason why I'm honoring her is in regards to the Qliphoth. And I had a really good conversation with a friend today about the Qliphoth, the tree of life, the tree of death, and how they are two sides of the same tree. She's really intelligent and I'm glad I got to talk to her. But I'm going to do a ritual to honor Lilith tonight with some wine and some candles. Just because I want to thank her for the lessons that she allowed Nama to teach me in the Qliphoth of Nehemoth. So yeah, looking forward to going through the drive-thru and getting my pumpkin spice latte and heading home slowly. What time is that? It's 6:25 p.m. so it's getting late. It's getting later. Of course, it's getting dark outside. The street lights, the lamp lights in the parking lot just came on. So yeah, it's been a good day so far. Very relaxing. Hello there. So it is 9:07 p.m. I'm sitting on the couch drinking some tea. I did a lot of self-care when I got home. I took a shower, I shaved, I washed my face, I blow-dried my hair, I cleaned up after myself, and now it's 9 o'clock and I just decided to relax. My partner will be home in a couple hours, so that gives me 2 hours to relax before, and in privacy, in my own, space. I bought this book, Heal the Witch Wound. Reclaim Your Magic and Step into Your Power, which I would like to delve into, by Celeste Larsen, Mage by Moonlight. And I just bought this book on Amazon. And it's been a book that I've wanted to buy for a few months now. But I have such a hard time reading books. Like, right now I have a few books going. I have this one, Rites of Lucifer by the Temple of Ascending Flame. I want to start reading this one, Heal the Witch Wound. I just finished reading The Devil's Dozen, 13 Craft Rites of the Old One by Gemma Gary. I started reading this one a year ago, and I had a couple chapters left, and I just finished reading it. This is an awesome book. Honestly, I should do a book review on this because this book is just so inspirational. Anyway, I'm also reading The Tree of Qliphoth, but I've stopped because I'm not ready to go any further on the tree. And one of the other books that I'm really enjoying right now, reading from time to time, is Lilith, Dark Feminine Archetype by the Temple of Ascending Flame. So I'm reading Rites of Lucifer, Tree of Qliphoth, Lilith, Dark Feminine Archetype. And another book that I haven't been delving into as much, but also interests me, is Goetia. I just got it, Goetia of Shadows by Michael W. Ford. Michael W. Ford, illustrated by Adam Iniquity. It's an interesting name, Iniquity. I never realized that. And another book that I just got in a Witch's Moon box was The Magical Household, Spells and Rituals for the Home by Scott Cunningham and David Harrington. So this is not a book haul by any means, but I probably should do a book haul. But I feel like in order to justify doing a book haul, I have to also do book reviews, because if there's a good book that I'm reading, I mean, I probably should review it, you know, because other people can benefit from it too, maybe. So we'll see. Once, I guess I have a vacation coming up. I'll be on vacation for a week soon, and I'll have some time to read, get into the books that I'm interested into a little bit more. Yeah, and I don't think I'm going to do a week ahead reading video unless by some miraculous event I can do it tomorrow before I go to work, but I can't foresee that happening. Anyways, yeah, it's been a pretty I mean, I guess I could say it's been an uneventful week, because like we didn't go downtown, we didn't go, like we went grocery shopping. I mean, I did have a really great conversation with my friend today, and I feel like I've really learned a lot this week. And even though like in the outward world, you know, I'm not going out partying, I'm not going out to the drag show bar, I'm not going to, you know, I'm not going out with friends, you know, I'm not seeing any of my siblings. I'm just hanging out with my partner, going to work and doing the everyday mundane stuff that I do. And since I'm working tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday, we would go downtown. We usually go downtown when we're both off on the Saturday. But I'm working, and then my partner is working with me on Sunday, so he only has one day off as well. He has Saturday, and I have today, until the next weekend that I'm off, because this weekend I'm working, and I work every second weekend. So, yeah. One of the sad things that happened this week was that the crystal store that I usually go to purchase candles and incense and crystals and tumbled stones, and I mean, I think I must have every single tumbled stone in that store, and they continually brought in new ones, but they're not here. They're at my apartment, but yeah. It's sad because the store's closing because I guess it's not working out for them. So I know another crystal shop. It's just farther, it's kind of out of the way. But maybe I could end up going to another witchy shop for some of my witchy items. There's one downtown, and I don't drive downtown. I take the bus down there. So to get there, it might take me 45 minutes by public transportation. But I haven't been there since I first started on my witch's journey, I started on my witch's journey, it'll be 4 years in February. And when I first started 4 years ago on this witch's path, I started as a Wiccan. And well, I wasn't necessarily a Wiccan, but I was on my self-initiation to Wicca, and it's a year and a day. It's your initiation that you do after a year and a day of dedicating yourself to walking on the Wiccan path. So I wanted to make an altar, so I looked up all the different types of items that you put on a Wiccan altar, and then there was like the athame and the chalice and the pentacle and the wand, and I put crystals, and you want to have a representation of the god and the goddess. So I had a small statue that I now use to represent Aphrodite, the goddess Aphrodite, but I had a small statue that I purchased from a secondhand store, and that to me, it was a man and a man embracing a woman, and they were wearing like long flowing clothing, and it's just like a white statue, and it's not very big. It's like this big. And I put that on my first altar. If I have a picture of my first altar, I'll insert it at the end of this ramble, I guess. But yeah, it was my first altar, and it was so simple and beautiful, and it was for Imbolc. And yet I had this grand idea of what I really wanted my altar to look like. I had this like idea, and it's kind of what it looks like now, my altar. I had this great big idea of having, an altar full of gods and goddesses and candles, lots of candles. And I did put a lot of candles on the pictures that, like, if you see a picture of my first altars, you'll see that there was a lot of candlelight, which is kind of like, it can be a fire hazard. So I've really cut down on the amount of candles I'm using, unless I had like a garage with a cement floor, and then I would be using chalk on that and putting candles all around me while I lie in the chalk pentacle, like naked with candles burning on each side of the pentacle. It'd be super cool. I'd be there all night trying to connect with the spirits, but those are just dreams. You know what I mean? Those are just dreams. And actually, I got that idea of that idea that I just told you about with the pentacle and in the garage. I got that idea from that book, 13 Craft Rites by The Devil's Dozen. The Devil's Dozen, 13 Craft Rites by Gemma Gary. Because the 13 Craft Rites are 13 different rituals, and they're based on like old school magic. And when I say old school magic, I mean like the magic that they used to perform a long time ago, when this whole world was covered by forests and there were different villages, and they were super into spirituality, and they weren't afraid of their bodies, and like they weren't afraid of dying. They weren't afraid of fighting for what they wanted. They consulted with magicians to find out what to think and how to act and where to go and what to do and where to turn. You know what I mean? Like, they had seers and like oracles that they would go to, and like that's what I think about when I think of that book, 13 Craft Rites by Gemma Gary. I think about a time when magic was not taboo. Magic was what ruled the world. You know what I mean? What ruled the world was magic. And then of course Catholicism came in with the white men, taking over native land and all that. And then it just all went to SHIT from there. Like after that, it's like we have to do really basic magic. Yeah. Anyways, I guess I kind of rambled on. It's at 10 minutes. But yeah, tonight's the dark moon, Friday the 13th. I guess I really should be doing something super magical, but I did just smoke 1/5 of a cigarette of cannabis, which could be why I'm so chatty right now. But a long time ago, when I used to leave my hair curly and I was a teenager, 13, 14 years old, this is what I did before videotaping yourself with your cell phone camera was cool. I took out our old school video camera, the one that used to be specifically for videotaping and making VHS movies. I took that video camera and I turned it around and I videotaped me talking about how I was feeling. And like, we were on vacation. I was on vacation with my family, and I have 5 sisters and 1 brother, and my mom and dad are super strict Christian. And like, my dad used to go on business meetings because he was a representative for Canada, United States, and Mexico, a sales representative. And so he used to take us on his like sales trips, and we used to crowd into one. We used to drive around in a Volkswagen minivan, red one with like a blue wave on the side of it. And we used to drive around, and my dad used to go to his sales meetings, and we would like swim in the pool and walk around the different places that my dad would take us. We would drive there. He went to Mexico with a couple of my siblings, with my mom, maybe 6 or 7 years back before he left his job. But I didn't go to Mexico because I wasn't living with them at the time. But my 2 younger sisters went to Mexico, and I think my brother went there as well. But yeah, it reminds me of that time when we were on vacation, and I turned the VHS video recorder around and I videotaped how I was feeling at 14 years old. And then so I'm like 14, 30 years later, or maybe 25 or 20 years later maximum, people are doing selfies, creating YouTube videos, and like I had done this before YouTube was even a thing. So I just didn't post it on social media. You know what I mean? But I think it's normal to want to document your life on videotape. And you never know, like when you're dead, who's going to watch your videos of you documenting your life, and who's going to find comfort in seeing you talk about your life at that time, who's going to remember you and have fond memories of a person that was unapologetic and who was not afraid of being truthful about themselves. You know what I mean? Who's going to watch this videotape when I'm dead and know me to a certain extent and think to myself, and think to themselves, wow, she was a good person. Like, I really miss her. And I think I'm going to honor her memory at Samhain. You know what I mean? Because today is Friday the 13th, like I said, October 13th. And Halloween is less than 2 weeks away, right? Because 13th, 31st. Yeah, so it's less than 2 weeks away, if I'm calculating correctly, from Friday, October 13th to Friday to, I think Halloween's on a Tuesday. But anyways, October 31st. So October 13th to October 31st. Like maybe at least less than 20 days away. And, this is a time when witches love this, you know what I mean? They can go on witch flight. But like more realistically, they can wear their witchy clothes. They can buy witchy decor. They can talk about the dead, you know what I mean? And talk about ancestors and create dumb suppers and put lights in the windows for the spirits to find their way to a safe place. You know what I mean? Like, this is a time when you can do all your spells and rituals, and it's not seen as taboo. It's seen as you honoring the dead, and whether that be my dead or your dead or some stranger's dead, like, we are honoring all death. We are honoring the spirits that have passed on. And it's like Jasmine Ambrosia was saying, like, we're honoring our the great dead or something. Right now it's like completely escaping my mind, but we're honoring our dead, whether that be the witch ancestors that we came from or our ancestors that we came from 2,000 years ago. I know Jasmine Ambrosia often celebrates at this time a lot of witches that she knew who were pretty popular. And I think Scott Cunningham was one of the witches that she honors during this season of Samhain. But I definitely think about my grandmother on my dad's side, because grandmother on my dad's side, yeah. But my grandmother on my dad's side, more importantly, her name was Mammy. Like, I didn't call her Mammy because I was discouraged too by my parents. If I can remember, like, they wanted me to call them Grandpa so-and-so or Grandma so-and-so, like, not endearing terms like Mammy and Pappy, you know what I mean? Like, I never called them that, but I call her that now, Mammy, my grandmother. And she was into astrology, and she collected porcelain dolls, and she had shelves full of porcelain dolls in her rooms. And I wonder where all those porcelain dolls went, because I cherish porcelain dolls, whether they be spooky porcelain dolls that have been transformed into horrible nightmares, or whether they be original, I want to say creepy dolls, porcelain dolls that have beautiful faces and beautiful hair and beautiful dresses. She used to collect those, and she was super witchy, and she was an artist, and she was funny, and she was lively, and she was unapologetic. She would speak her mind. She wasn't afraid to be seen as loud or obnoxious. She just did it unapologetically. Like, she wasn't going to take SHIT from anybody. And my grandmother and grandfather, I don't think they were religious on my dad's side, but my mom and dad are very religious. So they would push my grandmother not to talk about astrology and not to talk about the zodiac signs and not to talk about their kids based on their zodiac signs or their sun signs. And it was so taboo that until 4 years ago, I didn't know that I had a moon sign or a rising sign, let alone all the other planets and other signs. I only knew that I was an Aquarius, and I didn't know that there was an Aquarius. I didn't know that there was a birth sun, birth moon, birth rising, birth Scorpio, birth Mars, birth Aries. Like, I didn't know that there was a sign for each of those planets that correspond to my birth chart. And that's because not even my grandmother was allowed to talk about that. And imagine, in her own home with her husband, and even after her husband passed away, she was in her own home with her other son. But even her other son would tell her not to talk about it. Like, she made birth charts. Like, when she was younger, in her 30s and 40s, she created birth charts for people. And I'm sure that my grandfather, Pappy, was fine with it. But my mom and my dad would go into their home when we would go to visit, and they would tell them not to talk about it. And, you know, oftentimes my mammy would tell them just to stop talking. Like, she'd be, tais-toi, you know, like, which means shut your mouth. Like, or I don't know if she said that specifically, but she would say something to my dad where, like, she told him to just basically shut it. Like, don't cry, just don't talk right now. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to cry. I'm not being mean to you. I'm just telling you to shut your mouth. Like, as a mother personally, like, don't go on from here with that conversation. You know what I mean? So she was that type of woman who was like, yeah, I'm gonna stand up for myself, you know. And I think that at that time, you know, my parents are in their 70s, and so you can just imagine how my grandparents would be right now. I think they would be like 100, maybe like 100 years old or 110 years old at this time, since they passed away. But I think my grandmother on my dad's side, my mammy, died when she was in her 90s, if I'm not mistaken, or late 80s. And imagine at that time, you know, I think that was at the time when Christianity was really powerful. You know, I know it's still powerful, but I don't think it's as powerful as it used to be. I think it's dying down. I think people are starting to realize that it's BS. But in those times when Catholicism, especially in Quebec, was on the rise, and Catholicism is very much like Christianity, although it's much different as well. But, you know, women weren't supposed to speak. You know, I think nuns were still a thing at that time, you know, so you were taught to be submissive. And my grandmother, my mammy, she didn't submit. She wasn't a woman who was going to submit. She wasn't going to be quiet. But she ended up being quiet, which is really sad. You know what I mean? Like, I remember her telling me a few things about being an Aquarius, and one of the things that she told me as an Aquarius sun was that I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to be a quiet person, but I have a lot going on in my mind. And it sounds like it's just basic knowledge, right? To me now, when I say it, like, yeah, it makes sense. That's an Aquarius for you, you know, an air sign in their mind, you know what I mean? And maybe quiet because they don't easily trust, you know, that's what I would guess. You know, I don't want to talk to people that I don't trust, which is basically, you know, and if I don't trust you, then you have every right to stop watching me. You know what I mean? Like, just, if you're not interested in me because I don't trust you, well, turn off the video. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not telling you to stay here and listen to me talk. I don't expect people to listen to me talk. And that's probably why I don't talk, because why should anybody care what I have to say? You know, I have a lot in my mind, but everything that I'm saying now, I know I could tell a psychologist this, or, you know, a psychologist or a counselor or a therapist, but I usually keep all this inside of me, to be honest. And the only reason why I'm recording this now is because I'm alone in the privacy of our home, and nobody's live on this show with me, watching me as I speak. No one has any comments to make as I'm speaking. Nobody can deter me from thinking on my train of thought, you know what I mean? But honestly, I want to honor, like, I wasn't able, I mean, I guess I could have done a dumb supper tonight, but seeing as how this condo is sold, it's not really my home to invite, you know, the ancestors or ghosts into, unless unless they mean well and they don't intend on possessing the home or causing any problems for the next owner. You know what I mean? That's the only thing. Like, I don't want to start something here that, you know, the owner takes possession on October 31st. You know what I mean? So I don't want to bring in any spirits with the lights and the candles in the windows and the dumb supper here, you know, inviting them to come stay with us for the month of October. Like, I don't want to do that this year because this is no longer my home. And I have a room, which I'm very grateful for, but it's not a home, it's a room. Like, of course, we have a kitchen, we have a bathroom, but you know, it's very small, and I'm very grateful for that space. But it's not a space that I consider my home either, because me and my partner are looking out to move out together. And right now, unless I'm with my partner, I don't feel like I'm in my home. So if that makes sense. But honestly, I'm so grateful to my sister for saving me from my parents' house. Like, at the time, you know, me and my partner were having problems, and I had nowhere to go. So I stayed with my parents, and I was looking for an apartment, but it's so hard to find an apartment. And my sister's like, "Hey, I got a room. Like, if you want to come live in the room." And she said to me, like, "You don't have to pay anything. Just come live here." You know, she's super cool like that. And I'm really grateful for her helping me out at my parents' house, because, like, honestly, me and my parents, like, we're on completely two different wavelengths. Like, their wavelength is like a flat line, and my wavelength is like a really sharp up and down, powerful green, bright green line. Like, you know what I mean? Like, their line is like straight, and my line is like this. You know what I mean? And it's like, how am I supposed to talk to people like that? Like, you know what I mean? And I'm not trying to be rude about my parents either, but it's just like, when you end up believing something completely opposite from your parents and you still want to love them, but they just want to send you to the psych ward, you know what I mean? Like, I'm on my medication, but like, I still fear that my parents will send me to the psych ward if I do something that upsets them. You know what I mean? And I'm a grown 42-year-old woman. You know what I mean? But of course, that's not going to happen, because even if they did, like, I could totally talk my way out of it. And even if I couldn't talk my way out of it, so what? I'd get more drugs, you know? They'd pump me with more drugs, and they'd make me do art while I'm locked up, smoke cigarettes on my 2 cigarette breaks during the day, eat a regimen of hospital breakfast, lunch, and supper, you know, hang out with other people who are super cool, who I could totally chat about all this kind of stuff with. Like, can I say possibly like a vacation? No, I've never enjoyed any of my experiences in the psych ward. I've never enjoyed them, but I've made the most of them. I've made the most of them, and I have nothing bad to say about the psych wards in the two places that I went to. So to me, they were fine. The people were fine. The food was fine. The treatment was fine. You know, I didn't want to take the medication, but I took it, and I'm still on it now, and everything's fine. Anyways, maybe I should put a timestamp on this video. If you want to skip ahead to the rest of the vlog, you can skip ahead. All right, I guess that's it for now. Yeah, so it's Friday night. Tomorrow is work. I guess I'll take you to work with me again. This time I'm driving, because my partner usually drives us. But yeah, should be good. Anyways, happy Friday the 13th. Good morning. It's 11:15 a.m. on Saturn Day. Welcome to Saturn Day. I'm just in the process of making a coffee to go to my altar. And today I'm working. I'm hoping I can record the week ahead reading at some point before work. If not, I'll even try to record it at work on my separate break because I really want to get a reading out, and I did prepare some notes for this coming week. So that's that. My partner's off today. It's a beautiful day. It's like bright and sunny. But it's gotten a little less sunny over the past hour. I started reading my book, Heal the Witch Wound. I was journaling, and then my partner went out for a walk. Heal the Witch Wound. I started reading this. It's interesting. It starts out with the burning times, and it starts talking about why women were why women were villainized, and a little bit of the history as to the witch's hammer, the Malefica, something Latin, but basically translated into English, it's called the witch's hammer, and it has to do with the witches, and the publication of another book by somebody who was against witches as well. Hey, so here I am once again. It is Saturday, October 14th, 2023, and it's 3:48 p.m. I start work at 4. So in a few minutes, I'll be starting work. I did have a chance to record my week ahead reading, so maybe on my separate break later, I'll work on uploading it. So I'm really happy because I made a list of things that I wanted to do on my day off, and the two things that I wasn't able to do on my day off were do my week ahead reading and rearrange my altar for Samhain. And today I did the week ahead reading, so that just leaves me with having to rearrange my altar for Samhain. And yesterday I did a ritual to honor Lilith on the dark moon, and to thank her for her lessons and for letting me go into the Qliphoth of Lilith and Nama Nihimoth. Now I feel like I can start to try to work with the spirit that guards the tunnel to the next Qliphoth. So I'm really happy because it feels like I'm moving along. It feels like things are starting to take place. I feel a shift in the energy. I really feel like I'm in spooky season now. I feel like there's something cold coming in the air, and it's the weather obviously, but I feel like it's more than that. It's the thinning of the veil. It's the spirits around us. It's just a really powerful energy, and it feels really uplifting and encouraging. Hey there, it's Sunday. I'm at work. We got up pretty late today. We went to bed late last night. I think it was 2 a.m. And I woke up at noon this morning, and I read my book, Heal the Witch Wound. And my partner did the laundry. And then I made the suppers for tonight and got ready to come to work. So it's finally Sunday. It's the end of the week. I know it's been somewhat uneventful, but at the same time, I feel like it's been really eventful. I just feel like I've done a lot of growth this week. I feel like spiritually, I feel like I've grown quite a bit. Of course, I am in the realm of Nihimoth at the moment. I'm learning to document my dreams and to try to interpret them. I haven't had any dreams that I feel have been very much about Nehemoth, but I think I'm learning to pay attention to my dreams, and that when I do have a dream that I know is absolutely about Nehemoth, at least I'll have the discipline to document it and to try to decipher it. But thank you for coming along with me on this journey this week. I hope it was interesting. As you see, my life is somewhat plain, but I enjoy it. I enjoy my life. I enjoy the opportunity to learn what it is to be human. And I'm glad that I have my partner to accompany me on this journey. Have a good one. Bye.